The day my son gets his license, I will be the hardest driving instructor he has ever met. My son will be required to memorize every hand signal and speed limit. I will remind him of the freeways, how they shouldn't be traveled faster than 65 miles an hour. But on those Monday mornings, when he becomes a missed snooze button away from his late arrival to the workplace, that time may vary. I will remind him to travel the residential zones at 25, even when the streets look empty. I will tell him about the ticking time bomb in the driver's seat. His body, his presence, his existence.
My son, listen to these words I say. My son, I know you will choose your own way. But my son, you got to be ready for what the world has for a black man. My son.
Christopher Mitchell was 23 years old when bullets parallel parked inside his lungs. His family will rent a funeral home before he reaches the age to rent a car. My son will be taught how to merge lanes, the way flashing lights swallow the back of suspicious vehicles. When the car is covered in midnight sky, I will remind him to use his headlights. But how do I tell him that driving while black is a pair of road dice, is a crooked slot machine, is literally Russian roulette with the steering wheel and officers usually bet on all red.
My son, listen to these words I say. My son, I know you will choose your own way. But my son, you got to be ready for what the world has for a black man. My son.
These days, our vehicles seem to hold blood as if it was gasoline. So when he tells me the car is leaking, I will tell him to take it to the ambulance. He will laugh at my error of context, unaware of the previous casualties. Do I tell him that a car and a casket can have the same functions, both vehicles for transporting our bodies? Why mention the speed limit without mentioning his limited time? Will he know that I feared never seeing my residence at 25? Or that a prayer moving 65 miles an hour can still end in a head-on collision with death?
My son, listen to these words. Please, my son. Don't know what I'll do if I lose you, my son. Listen to these words I say, my son. I know you will choose your own way.
When you hear "don't move," that includes breathing, the influx of chest. When you exit the vehicle, I want you to be like an airbag. Relax, but prepare for impact. Remember to use the hand signals I taught you, the same ones God's son used before he was crucified too. The day my son drives is the day I question my sunshine. Wonder if we will become the shining array of an obituary. When he receives his license, I will tell him everything that can protect him when he is pulled over. One.
My son.